It's cold and flu season already, and that means it's time to get your flu shot. Sanford Health is offering a fun way to do that and also ease the nervousness of your kids who may be dreading getting poked. Joining us today, Sanford Health pediatric nurse practitioner Sarah Parr. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And I wanted to ask you right off, because I know I was hearing and seeing in the news already there have been some confirmed cases, correct, of the flu?
Yes.
Is that kind of normal timing, or?
You know, it is kind of early in the season to start seeing it, but that's why we want to make sure all the kids come in and have their vaccine before the end of October.
Any news so far as to how bad it will be this year?
You know, we haven't heard yet. We know last year we had many cases of it. Our flu vaccine was pretty effective last year, though, and we're hopeful for that again this year.
So to help people get their flu vaccinations, you have a great event coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday from 8 to noon at our Children's Southwest Clinic, we have the Boo to the Flu event, which is a super awesome and fun way for kids to get excited about getting their flu vaccine.
And it's for the whole family too, right? So mom and dad could go with the kids, have fun, and also get their vaccinations as well?
Correct. So we just asked that everyone would call and make an appointment, because we do have about 500 people scheduled so far, and we expect to double that by the end of the week. And so kids can come in. We encourage them to wear their costumes. Mom and dad can wear their costumes if they would like. And we decorate the clinic in kind of a spooky hallway that they can walk through and trick or treat and get different prizes and giveaways, as well as they each get a pumpkin when they leave.
It's a fun event. And oh, by the way, you can also get your flu shot.
Yes, exactly.
Almost.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit as well, because kids are don't love the idea of getting their flu shot, but at Sanford, you guys are aware of that when it comes to all sorts of immunizations.
Yeah, we have an awesome child life department that we love having with all of our nurses. They are able to come in, and we use something called Buzzy the Bee, which is like this little ice pack with a frozen buzzy that kind of buzzes on your leg or your arm, whichever you like, and it tricks you a little bit to the idea that it's not as painful. And we do bubbles, and kids can watch the iPad, or we scream and yell and jump and just have a good time and try to distract them as much as possible at that time.
Maybe moms and dads might need it too.
Correct.
I mean, I don't like it very well, but I know how important it is as well. And let's talk just about how important it is, because my daughter actually got influenza for the first time last year. And it's like, I talk about it, we report on it, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, this puts you down and out for quite a while. Talk a little bit about influenza, the symptoms, and just how hard it can be on little ones.
So influenza, especially for children, we really worry about. It's a respiratory illness. We see a lot of that abrupt onset high fevers above 102, cough, runny nose, congestion, and the body aches that really just make you feel poor. You don't want to eat or drink. And kids, especially younger ones, can really have an issue with the respiratory distress that's involved in that. Without their flu vaccine, we know that those symptoms can become worse to the point of actually causing hospitalization and death in the really severe cases. And so we really work hard to vaccinate our kids to help to prevent against that. So we would like that to prevent against the flu. We know there's different strains every year, so we don't always catch the one that's going to cause a lot of illness this year, but we do know with pretty good research that getting the flu vaccine still decreases the worst of those effects that can happen from the flu.
Besides kids, who are the other groups that are at a higher risk?
Older adults, also greater than the age of 65, and then those with chronic conditions. We know people that have heart disease or, respiratory illnesses or respiratory diseases, that the flu can really make those diseases worse if they get it.
And I know then different communities and at schools, when one child gets it, it's easily spread, but that's why we need to remind people about hand washing. I mean, what are some of the ways that you can, help prevent it?
So the number one way, of course, is get your flu vaccine. And then the second would be washing your hands, anytime you're touching door handles, anytime you're going in and out of different environments, covering your mouth, with your arm versus your hand when you're coughing and sneezing, and then, just not being around others that are ill or not sharing things with people that are ill.
And before you go, one more time, this is a great event for the whole family. It's happening Saturday morning.
Yep, from 8 to noon, and you can call and get your appointment anytime during the day from 8 to 5.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in, and hopefully, Boo to the Flu. It's a fun event for the kids. It really is.
Come out.
All right, thank you for coming in today. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on North Dakota Today.